Good morning. We're live from our Vodafone offices in London, Paddington, in Athens, Istanbul, and Malaga. A warm welcome to everyone who's joined us today for the final of the first international edition of Vodafone Campus Lab. I'm Florentina Pescaru. I'm an early careers lead in Vodafone Group, having joined Vodafone back in 2022. What an exciting time for all of us taking part in Vodafone Campus Lab final today. Well, it's been more than a year since we started the preparation for this year's competition. And now finally, we're at peak moment, the culmination of all of the hard work for us in the Vodafone project team and our delivery partner, BeForget, for our students involved, for their mentors, for the university coordinators, our senior leadership judges, and everyone celebrating the successes of our students. We'll have the chance to listen to the innovations students came up with to obviously solve real-life problems that our world faces today by using technology, creativity, and why not a spark of amazing. So who will be the winner today? Well, will it be the team from Greece? Will it be the team from Spain or from Turkey? Well, stay tuned until the end and you'll find out for sure. Now let's watch a video showcasing our students' experience on the program this year. Let's play the tape.
Vodafone Campus Lab is to enrich yourself and discover yourself in the first place. Payment is a knowledge, the skills you are gaining through the whole program.
The thing that we have to do is look around in our world, in our country, see something that needs improvement, and actually put yourself in the thesis of someone that is having this issue in his everyday life, and you have to solve it. So imagine that you are now responsible for it and form a team and try to solve it. That's how I would explain the program.
Before the start, I was thinking that I will not fit in the program. It's going to be too hard. It's going to be too long. I don't have a team. What am I going to do? I was very unsure in what might happen. But I was also very eager to experience that scary feeling.
I want to collaborate with different people. I want to understand how things are going on in this competition.
I wanted to develop my practical skills, also my communication and leadership skills.
So I was expecting something like this. For instance, okay, there will be some online modules maybe, and we will gather once in a month and then we will share our ideas. That was the thing that in my head. But once we started, I realized that this is something heavy.
I really enjoyed the program so far and really made me realize this is more than I could expect. Like, I did not expect this big.
It will help us to improve our skills in order to face future problems and to take new challenges in the future.
And this was the only program that we see that we can actually do something that touches the people, that we can learn how to work on a project. And it was really beneficial for us.
And when I saw that we were going to form a team to actually build a business model and try and solve a social issue, I thought that was the perfect project for me to actually exercise everything I've learned.
You can organize yourself, you know what points you have to approach, you know what goals you have in each step of the way.
I've also found very passionate people. They proved to be really ambitious people. From that basis, we are succeeding in building a very great community that's very healthy and it will be very profitable for us.
I really appreciated the chance to communicate and work with experienced industry leaders and mentors.
Firstly, I would definitely recommend this platform to a friend because I think everyone should try new things. They need to see themselves in a competition environment with different people from different cultures, from different backgrounds.
It gives you an opportunity to execute different things, to try yourself in different roles, all within one program.
I developed skills in team collaboration, time management and leadership.
It's really interactive and intuitive and social-like. It's not just we're 6 engineers in a little room working to make the greatest project of all time, but rather working on soft skills as well as a project, working on ourselves and being able to communicate with people. Now it's from different parts of the world, so it's greater even.
My advice would consist of these three: to stay curious, to embrace collaboration, and maintain a human-centric approach.
There's a lot to learn, and it basically gives you an opportunity to unleash your brainstorming and think of an idea that has true impact.
So now, before diving straight into the student presentations, well, allow me to spend a few minutes to share with you more about this wonderful project. Vodafone's Campus Lab enables students to experience real-life projects, applying what they learned at university, collaborating with other students across disciplines to come up with innovative solutions that could ultimately change the world. The project was born in a Spanish market over 6 years ago, and for the first time this year, we're able to take it to international level. So students from multiple Vodafone markets can benefit from this ambitious and hugely impactful program aimed at early careers professionals in the making. Obviously, we hope that a lot of them will be Vodafone's future talent one day. So, thinking about the size of the project, and we wanted to share with you the scale of what we were able to do via Vodafone Campus Lab. This international edition saw over 1,000 students registered on the program, with more than 130 teams formed from over 90 universities from Greece, Romania, Spain, and Turkey. You can see there on the map, each of the dots represents a university that had a student on the program from, and we were absolutely blown away by the interest shown from the students from the registration stage and the sustained engagement that we've seen from the students throughout the program, the community they formed, but also the dedication they've shown as well. And after 6 editions, and obviously being this the first international one, we are still at 6.0, so our community has grown. And this is how the student community looks like today. So we have over 2,900 students who formed more than 430 teams, and they represented around 100 universities, as you can see on the map there. This year, we're very fortunate to engage our student pool in the Campus Lab Tech Talks, and they were delivered by top Vodafone experts, as well as some early career sessions where our colleagues from different markets presented roles available in each of those markets and shared tips and tricks to secure an early career role within Vodafone. I personally want to say a big thank you to all the colleagues that were involved in this, and of course to all our subject matter experts within Vodafone who actually took the role of mentors for one of the finalist teams that you will see today. And this was to help them align their solution to Vodafone's strategy and our future ambitions as well. So I'll share with you the kind of challenges we've given to students, and they had to share to choose one challenge to work on from the 5 challenges you can see on the screen. The key criteria for developing the solution was the use of one of the technologies that we suggested. It could have been Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, 5G, cloud, or big data. Of course, not an easy task, but we're very excited to hear what they came up with, and we're all about to see that in just a few moments. So thinking about the program itself, and of course, there were different stages that all our students went through, but the program aimed to upskill students in problem solving. So not only did we give them complex challenges to resolve, but also we give them the tools and the skills to be able to build the solutions. We also help them enhance the more human kind of skills, such as collaboration, leadership, and communication. And we also aim to create that bridge between the university and real world and its issues by putting knowledge into practice. So Thinking about how they've done that, what the learning process was, well, our aim has always been about making the learning process an iterative one. So we started with learn, continued to build, and then to improve, with the ability to get feedback from alumni, so people that students that took part in previous years, feedback from mentors, as well as from the other teams on the project. The practical approach involved building an implementable model, a real solution, and also building a prototype. So the key idea has been around continuous improvement, growing that model created, and perfecting that solution and sharing with others and implementing any feedback. So certainly a continuous loop, which we were encouraging the students to take up and do. Throughout the program, along the way, our students were able to collect badges. So they were able to validate the skill they developed, the positive behaviors consistently applied, and good practice as well. And the badges helped us recognize some really outstanding students on the program. You might have seen the badges on LinkedIn, and I've seen them with pride coming through as well from different students. And those allowed us to also recognize the ones that went above and beyond to support the wider community, give back feedback to others, and also help other colleagues on other projects as well as their own project. This way, we created a really good sense of community, and we genuinely wanted to make sure that those that have nurtured these behaviors are not just encouraged to continue, but also recognized for it. And on top of the badges, of course, today with our 3 prizes, we have some really exciting prizes to give today, which will be awarded to each team member of the 3 finalist team. And our wonderful jury members will present the winners and the prizes, and that will be in the award ceremony right at the end. A little bit of suspense there, I know, but we'll get to that point at the end of the session. So, who is our jury? Who will make who? Well, we're absolutely over the moon to present to you the 3 members of Vodafone Executive Committee who are here with us today. So drum roll, please. This is our jury today, and they're here with us. I'm really, really excited to share that. To firstly introduce our first jury member. So we have Serpil Timurai. Serpil was appointed as CEO of Vodafone Investments in April 2024, so just earlier this year, but she has been an executive committee member since 2014. She's responsible for our joint ventures, partner markets, and the development of our new telecommunication partnerships. She's the chairperson of Vodafone Ziggo in the Netherlands, and the chairperson of Vodafone Turkey, as well as a non-executive director of TBG Telecom in Australia. She's also the founding chairperson of Change the Face Alliance, and this is all about promoting diversity and inclusion in tech. She's also a member of the Young Global Leader Alumni of the World Economic Forum. Serpil, a really warm welcome, and thank you for joining us today. Wonderful. We also have... It's a pleasure. Thank you, Serpil. An absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you for joining. We also have Scott Petty today. Scott is our Vodafone's Chief Technology Officer. Scott joined Vodafone in 2009 and held positions in Vodafone Business Product Management and Technology before becoming UK CTO in 2017. He has been the Chief Digital and Information Officer since April 2021 as part of a newly created European-wide technology team to drive the transformation to achieve Vodafone's ambition to become a next-generation telco. We're very pleased to have you with us, Scott.
Thank you, Florentina. Great to be here.
Thank you, Scott. And our third jury member is Joachim Reiter. Joachim has been an executive committee member since August 2017 and is Vodafone's Chief External and Corporate Affairs Officer. He's responsible for public relations, corporate affairs, and that includes policy and regulation, communications, security, sustainability, and charitable activities. He's also currently an advisory board member of the World Trade Institute. He sits on the board of the Swedish Space Corporation and was previously a member of EU's Horizon Mission Board for Climate Neutral and Smart Cities. A very warm welcome to you as well, Joachim. Really lovely to have you today with us.
Thank you very much.
Well, our jury will have the toughest job today to decide the winning team. And to help with that decision, they'll be asking questions to each team member after each presentation. But we shall not delay this any further, you may be pleased to hear. So let's travel straight to Greece today to see our first team. And hopefully I can connect to Madalena in Greece. Wonderful. Can I check Madalena? Can you hear us? We cannot hear anything just yet, but I think they're coming through. We'll just give them a few more seconds to be able to come on screen. Never an easy job. It was a long journey, wasn't it, from London to Greece? Hopefully technology is on our side and can help us make that transition. And whilst that is happening, obviously, I can present to you the journey today, the trajectory that we will be taking. So we will have first Greece, then we'll go straight to Turkey and then to Malaga. And I can see that Madalena's here with us today. Good morning, Madalena.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, Florentina. So let me introduce first myself. My name is Madalena Flack. I'm a graduate trainee here in the talent acquisition team here at Vodafone Greece. I feel delighted presenting today the Greek team that stood out and made their way to the finals of the Vodafone Campus Lab. Here with me is Iro, Vasiliki, Fotini, and Antonis from the University of Piraeus and Spiros from the National Technical University of Athens. These 5 young talents were inspired by a previous experience and managed to develop a business model aiming to enhance the healthcare system in Greece. So my ESS team, the stage is yours. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Can you hear us okay?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you indeed, yes.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Fotini Kalogeraki, and I am very honored to introduce a solution that resonates deeply with all of us. So, if you could just imagine this. It could be the middle of the night and a loved one is facing a medical crisis. Every single second is crucial, yet help feels distant amidst delays and confusion. And this is a scenario that strikes fear into the hearts of families everywhere. But it's one we are on a mission to change with my ESs, the Uber for ambulances. Now, we all understand that medical emergencies can be chaotic and stressful, often resulting in confusion. From communication barriers to incomplete data, these challenges can have very serious consequences. Currently, outdated systems are causing delays and compromising patient care. We are operating blind with imprecise location data and incomplete medical information, making it just impossible to prioritize incidents effectively. Only in Greece, in 2016, just a small percentage of 22% of the emergency calls timely received emergency response. So our goal here is that simple, to transform emergency care by reducing response times and ensuring that every patient receives the best possible treatment. So, at MyAssist, we have designed an app with simplicity and reliability at its core. Our user-friendly interface isn't just easy to navigate, but it's a game changer for those who need it most, including the elderly and individuals with speaking difficulties. With live location sharing, comprehensive medical history, and advanced image recognition, MyAssist equips dispatchers and paramedics with the tools they need to make split-second decisions that can save lives. Our app gathers all the key features of an emergency response app and provides even more than that. It easily connects patients to emergency services and alerts nearby responders, speeding up assistance. By also providing patients medical information beforehand, the app ensures that responders are well informed and prepared. MyAssist simplifies the procedure of calling for help, and it is the first in the market to share real-time location between patient and ambulance. With the preliminary diagnosis feature, patient care can begin when the telephone rings. And lastly, by facilitating instant location sharing, MyAssist ensures precise coordination, significantly reducing delays in ambulance arrival. Now, besides a total of 320 hospitals, there are more than 140 ambulance companies in Greece and Slovenia serving as part of our initial target market. With an annual volume of 2.5 million calls and a market size for emergency medical services that is estimated about 139 million euros and that has an annual growth rate of 2.7%, this demographic represents our focus for initial penetration. Our main income will come from a commission-based revenue model. We earn a percentage from sales made through the app, acting as a fee per call received by ambulance companies. Additionally, we generate revenue through B2B service fees, where health clinics, hospitals, and ambulance companies can pay to include their ambulances and access premium features. We also offer value-added services such as marketing support and data analytics for a fee, as well as an advertisement feature for doctors and pharmacists. Furthermore, we explore opportunities for funding from the government and the European sources. And now, you might wonder what the next steps are. Well, these include finalizing the app's features and conducting testing to ensure reliability. We'll develop a marketing plan and form strategic partnerships with companies operating in the healthcare sector. By releasing a better version, we can gather all the user feedback for improvements, and also ensuring regulatory compliance and data security is so very crucial. Lastly, we of course plan for a scalable infrastructure and expansion, starting with Greece and Slovenia. Now, we've actually reached an agreement for partnerships, starting with Vodafone and Novus, to provide our project with the location trackers. Additionally, DSZ, the largest health dispatch center in Slovenia, has expressed its interest in our project. Also, a private ambulance company called Ambulance Life Rescue is eager to make an alliance with us in order to make our idea come to life. And also our project is of course being supported and promoted by the University of Piraeus. Now, as you all sure know, Vodafone's strategy is tightly knitted with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and especially SDG 3, which promotes healthcare and well-being. Our project supports Vodafone's Connecting for Good initiative on a connected health globally. Also, by using AI, 5G, and IoT, areas where she leads, our vision is tightly and perfectly aligned with Vodafone's values and goals. Our journey has been fueled by a deep sense of purpose and passion. We've heard the first-hand experiences of those who've been in difficult situations and integrated their stories into every single aspect of our app. Our team comes from a diverse fields that made a mixture that ensures we cover both technical development and business strategy, setting us up for success and growth. So now more than ever, we need your support to turn this vision into reality. We're seeking funding to fuel the development of our platform and establish key partnerships with medical companies and organizations that acquire ambulances. And with that said, we're asking you to provide us with an investment of 30,000 euros for the initial launch of the app, because with your support, we can scale our impact and reach even more families in need. We thank you for considering our mission to bring hope and help to those who need it most.
Thank you to the Milasis team. Thank you to all our students that participated to put this presentation together. We will bring the judges on our screen now, and we'll ask them to ask any questions they may have.
Firstly, can I say fantastic presentation, great idea, and I really like the market research. You had a real understanding of your product, the competition, the marketplace. Could you talk a little bit more about how you've thought about data privacy and security? Where obviously healthcare and health records are really important to individual patients, and the role that the healthcare provider will play in providing warranties for you in that environment.
So, hello everyone. I will talk about a very serious challenge when developing our app. So, firstly, we will conform with the different regulations related to data, to medical data. Our idea is that data will not be stored in a server or database, but will be locally stored in the phone of the patient and will be transmitted during the call to the dispatcher, and only that. Also, the transmission will be using encryption and secure protocols for secure communication.
Sorry, can I ask a question? So first, I must say, like Scott, I was blown away by the presentation, and it's very, very robust in all aspects. So thank you very much. Super impressive. I had a question on the go-to-market. Uber is, of course, a B2C service, so it reaches to the consumers, and consumers won't have access to the taxi market or the personal transportation market. In this case, do you see this mainly as driven by consumer demand, or mainly driven by the fact that it's deployed by ambulance services as part of their integrated solution? So how do you see the go-to-market in terms of what the roadblocks and how you would overcome that, or what partnership do you need to overcome that? You had some on the slide, but if you can elaborate, that would be helpful.
Yeah, of course. So our main idea is that this is something that ambulance companies have been needing. When we reached out to some of them, they told us that this is actually a feature that they would like to implement, but they didn't have the technical knowledge or have found a partner yet to do it, as this would improve the quality of their service provided. So our goal is to basically establish tight relationships with the ambulance companies in order to provide a better product to the end user, but through their services.
Perhaps a build on that. I'm interested in the revenue model. You were presenting a revenue share per call. Did you consider a more software as a service model and building the capabilities and then charging the ambulance company a fee for the application rather than a revenue share? And if so, what made you choose revenue share as the optimum model?
Yeah, of course. So basically, we researched the market, realizing, as you said, that our app resembles a market share type app, for example, Uber, as was referred to. And we realized that businesses that are in this field prefer to have a commission-based model, and we figured out the pricing depending on what the commission rate that was given. The €2 commission that you saw is actually very low for the marketplace, because our initial goal is to create a good penetration and also have a long-term growth rate. So there's a bigger opportunity for revenue growth if we have a commission-based model.
So just to build on that question, first of all, congratulations. Really, really inspirational project. And it looks like a really an untapped opportunity that you have discovered. On the commercial model, can you just elaborate a little bit more? How does the penetration work with the consumers? Who is going to be doing the penetration of the app? And in terms of that commission charging, can you talk a little bit about how that €2 is picked up? I mean, is it first the end user paying through the app, and then you charge it back, or how is that mechanism working?
Yeah, of course. So we have different customer acquisition strategies. I don't know if our screen is being shared right now, but basically our goal is to reach customers through multiple channels. Great. Yes, so we plan to basically include the fee, as you mentioned, in the total price that the client sees, but it is taken from the ambulance company. So the commission is not shown. It's not. It doesn't weigh on the end consumer, because we might want to make the service as accessible as possible to the end user.
And on the note of what Adonis said, I want to answer about how we actually plan on building a customer acquisition. On a business level, we target on going for a targeted average, reaching companies by direct emails and custom proposals. Of course, we plan on forming strategic alliances, and more important, because we are a startup company, we think it's very important to attend to exhibitions and have presentations and panels to project our company. And as for the end customer, we are going to use CEO and social media campaigns with influencers. We thought of using referral programs, and we also thought that with the alliances with the clinics and the pharmacists and medical centers in general, they could add our QR codes to the receipts or the medical papers for the users to have. And also, we plan for television advertising, because we're focusing to people around the age of 50 to 70 that watch television a lot. But that is something that we consider doing later when the company grows a bit, because we know that it is very expensive right now at the stage that we are. But yeah, these are pretty much the strategies.
I would like to add regarding the choice of Europe. The reason is that we have partners that are established in Europe, so they can help us both with their needs and the landscape of the market. And also, there is an ongoing Europe funding program that we are aiming to be part of, that aims to basically introduce technology into healthcare to be more accessible and be digital transformed.
So can I ask, final question for me is, by the way, your tagline is among the best I've seen. Every second counts. And it's an unbelievable campaign slogan. I mean, so it's super strong campaigning tagline that you have created. What's the system integration cost? I mean, obviously, this is something where you need to plug it into the systems of ambulance service and dispatch services. Have you sort of assessed, is that problematic? That's more Scott's question probably than a guy like me. But I just wonder, when you need to plug it into multiple private ambulance companies, do you see a very high initial cost of a system integration?
Yeah, of course. This is something we have thought of. We did some market research on the type of software used by dispatch services, and we concluded that the market is really small. So there are a couple of softwares used. Obviously, as you said, there's a bit of a higher cost related to the first integrations. But as the softwares used are quite common, and we plan on integrating them with a simple API, this will be mitigated by future partnerships. So the cost is basically divided through the number of partnerships that we get.
Wonderful. Well, you said every second counts, and that's such a great slogan and something we want to obviously adhere to as well. I want to say a big thank you to the team for their presentation and to our judges for the questions. Hopefully that gave you an idea of the work they've put in and the solution they came up with. And we will close the communication with our Greece team here and thanking them for all the efforts and the presentation. And now we'll be going straight to Turkey and connecting with our colleague in Turkey there. So thanks again to our colleagues in Greece. Wonderful. Ida, good morning. Hello, good afternoon in Turkey, probably. How are you?
I'm fine, and thank you. You?
Very well, thank you. Lovely to see you and the team. I can see you already, so please go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Ida, and I'm the project lead of Vodafone Campus Lab for Vodafone Turkey. And today, I'm so proud to present you the team adoptees consisting of Ece Su Çiftçi, Rukiye Aydın, Oğuzhan Şenuysal, Furkan Barış Beşik, Ece Naz Köse, Emel Kuş, and Muna Hacı İbrahim. All of the students from the team are from different universities and cities among Turkey, and we believe this diversity has a positive impact on the ideas that the group has generated. The group has identified a topic based on their own experience to produce their project, and they designed an application to help migrants adapt more easily to the cities that they live in. Now, I would like to invite Muna and the team to the stage so that they can tell you the details of this application. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ida. Over to the team now.
Hello. Hi.
Hello. We can hear you.
My name is Muna Adem Hacı İbrahim. We are adoptees. I came from far away from a different continent from Africa to Turkey for education. When I came here, I was 17 years old with no family or friends, so that I could cope up with the adoption here. Imagine leaving behind everything you know, your home, your community, your culture, and beginning over in a new country. Any one of us could be in this position at any point of our lives. With adoptees, we will be making that person's life easier. At first, like all the migrants, I often felt displaced and disconnected in the new country. I faced difficulties because information was scattered and hard to find. Accessing essential services was a challenge. Additionally, the lack of community support left me feeling isolated and alone. To address these problems, Adoptees provides a centralized hub for essential information. Our app ensures easy access to vital services and resources, reducing confusion and frustration. We foster local connections and community support, helping users build relationships and support networks. Additionally, we offer cultural integration tips to help migrants feel at home in their new environment. In the past 3 decades, the global immigrant population has tripled, while Europe experienced the highest increase in the number of immigrants, with a growth rate of 56%. Our initial target audience comprises 7.2% of Turkey's population, which is around 6 million people out of 85 million. The primary reason for migration is education, followed by seeking employment. Our system is designed to support non-native workers, students, and travelers with legal residency or work permits. Utilizing cross-platform development tools, our platform offers specialized categories that link users to essential local services, including education, employment opportunities, and more. This ensures they have all the resources necessary to thrive in their new community. Additionally, our platform acts as a vibrant community hub, promoting connections and support among migrants. Users can join diverse groups and participate in chats with others who share similar challenges or interests. We also offer curator recommendations for cultural events, activities, trivia, and reminders, ensuring our users stay connected and informed about local happenings. Navigating legal process can be complex, so our platform provides comprehensive, user-friendly guidance on permits and legal procedures, ensuring users can easily access reliable information. Adaptis distinguishes itself in the migrant support app market through unique features like group creation for social engagement, an e-journal for sharing personal stories, a resource pointer to direct users to essential services, and local government support. Unlike competitors, Adaptis can seamlessly integrate with other platforms via collaboration, ensuring users have access to all the tools they need in one convenient place. With support from Bahçeşehir University, we collaborate with BioHub Incubation Center. We also have support of Beşiktaş Municipality Expat Center, the only expat center in Turkey. Moreover, we are in discussion with the Turkey Immigrant Research Center and several universities to establish further partnerships, including potential collaboration with other local governments and tourism companies. Our revenue is sourced from two primary channels, with the aim of achieving growth within a 6-month time frame. The first is promoted listing and feature placement, which brings in $50,000. The second source is partner fees for data insights totaling $160,000. All the streams are divided into various models. We are planning to launch our product with the support we will get from our partners. With a $55,000 initial investment opportunity, we are expecting to reach 20,000 immigrants in Turkey that will drive $150,000 revenue within the next 6 months. In the main phases of our project, we aim to complete the design and develop core functionality while kickstarting market initiatives. Following this, we will proceed with the localization process and launch the app in Turkey. Post-launch, our agenda includes expanding language options and strategizing for further growth. Our initial focus is on expanding our presence in Europe, starting with regions where a large number of international migrants reside. Once we achieve our desired user base, we will shift our focus toward strategizing to launch the application in Germany and England. Any one of us could be in my position at any point. Our goal is to leverage our distinct talents to help all adapt and thrive in a new community and create a world where migrants have access to the support they need. We hope you join us in shaping the future of immigrant integration.
Thank you so much, Adaptis. And we will invite now the jury to come on the screen and ask any questions that they may have. I really like connectivity as a force for good. I did like that part very much.
Can I start this time?
Please do, Joachim.
So this was lovely. By the way, you have a jury panelist, one Australian, one Turk, and one Swede, all living in a foreign country, and have all of us brought up kids in a foreign country, which is horrendously difficult to figure out. How do you get in the UK? How do you get access to NHS? You know, how does the school system work? So the point around integration is not only a very large societal challenge, it's also something that all of us have struggled with in the jury, I would presume. I for certainly have. So I think this resonates really, really well with me. I think from my point of view, the questions I would like to ask you, I have two questions, which is one is around language. Because of course, if you talk about migrants that like us in the jury, we will all be comfortable doing English. If you talk about assimilation challenges with refugees, it's often a language barrier as well. So what's a little bit around your thinking around language in the platform? And the second thing is, how do you keep the information updated? So what's the source of flow of information? Because as you know, rules and regulations and access to healthcare and the availability of education, that changes all the time. So do you see that as a community chat function where people upgrade the information, or do you see it more as a centralized repository, in which case, how would you then do the updating?
Thank you, Joachim. For the first question, we look at the top 5 nationalities who is residing legally in Turkey with residence permit, and this is the 5 top countries. And we, starting from the top of it, we will expand our language models to each one of them, with increasing our language variety. And for other countries, we will presume the same features and same planning as well. And for the second question, how what's the question?
So, so how you update information on the platform?
For the update, this is why we are making partnership with local governments as well. Local governments keep us updated with the new information. So with their collaboration, we will update their state into new laws and changing things, and we will implement that data and new changes to our application as well with their support.
Thank you. Like Joachim, I have to say that the problem of being a migrant really resonates, and it's very difficult to move to new countries and try and navigate your way around. So I really like the idea and the approach that you're taking. I think the content partnerships will be really critical. So great to see that you're working with local government, but it would be good to understand how you'd work with local businesses and local ecosystem to create traffic on the platform and a desire for people to come back to the platform on a regular basis. I'd also love to hear about how you thought about data privacy. I think a reasonable portion of your revenue model was data analytics and being able to use that for people to leverage. Just like to understand your thoughts on the privacy and why people would opt in and be willing to share that data for third parties on your platform.
For essential data, we talk with the local governments, and we don't want to take all the data as well. We will make a user agreement for it for all of the process. But first of all, we talk with the local government. Local government told us the taking passport number as a verification is not ethical. So we come to the conclusion we can use the temporary residency citizenship ID numbers. So we can use that numbers to identify the international person that comes to our country for validation part. And for data privacy, we will use blockchain technology with the very transparent for us. If local governments ask for us to share that privacy, we will conduct our reasons with them, and we will proceed this process not alone with our mentors as well.
Thank you for your question, Scott. Serpil?
Yes. So congratulations on this great idea. And it's not just an opportunity in Turkey, it's an opportunity everywhere. So it can really scale, that I can see. My question to you is about the marketing approach. How are you going to ensure that your target audience is able to get to know you? How are you going to penetrate with scale? And what's the hook that you are creating? That's number one. And second, also about your revenue and commercial model, because you do need that revenue. What's kind of the commercial model, that business model that you are going to implement with the partners?
I can answer the first question. For the first question, for the first question part, we are forgetting the first question. Yes, this is why we are making partnerships and why we are not alone. Because thanks to our partnership with international offices of universities and schools and local governments, which supports the migrants and other international residents, we try to approach them on that platforms. our main marketing strategies have from our partnerships. Also, we are aware of the aspect of hugeness of the tourism sector, and with our collaboration with tourism companies as well, we will believe we achieve great numbers, even larger than we estimated before. For second question.
The commercial model, revenue generating model.
Yes.
Perhaps someone from the other team would like to take that question from the other half of the team. If not, please go ahead.
Can you repeat the question, please?
So how are you going to generate the revenue? What's your commercial model in order to create that revenue that you have presented?
Ece, can you please show us the appendix?
We are showing it.
It should be on. It's on. We have two types of revenue. One of these is the data sales, and the other is featured placement and promoted listings. From promoted listings and featured placements, we estimate that around $50,000. And from data sales, we have three types of data sales. We assume we will sell basic demographic data, and we will sell behavioral data and aggregated engagement and usage metrics. As you can see here, we estimated around $1.3 per user for featured placements and $1.11 per user for promoted listings. And for data insights, we estimated that $5.5 per user. As you can see here, we have three types of data sales. One is detailed behavioral data, other is basic demographic data, and the final is exaggerated engagement and usage metrics.
Sapil, I hope that answered your question. Thank you. Thank you to our team. Thank you to both half of the teams that, of course, in the office, you are together as a team. And thank you for the presentation, a really insightful idea and well delivered. Thank you for that. We will now say goodbye to our lovely team in Greece, and we'll move across to Malaga, all across to Spain. So I would like to welcome our team in Spain. Paolo, good morning. Are you there?
Yes. How are you, Florentina? Good. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much, Florentina. Well, first of all, I'm going to present myself. My name is Paolo, recruiter of the Global TA team, onboarding coordinator, and early careers lead over here in Spain. I am so proud to present to you today the Hard Next team, made up of 6 brilliant students from the University of Malaga. They are Diego, Ramon, Emilio, Matias, Candela, and Salud. They have a really interesting and innovative project related to agriculture and AI. Thanks to the mentoring of our manager, Yasmina Carrascal, Hardnext is absolutely ready for the final today. So their goal is not only to win the bigger prize, but also to be able to turn their project into great startups. So let's welcome the team.
Thank you very much, Paolo. Good morning to everybody. Have you ever wondered a world devoid of food depending on the countryside? When we talk about agriculture, it's impossible not to mention barriers such as efficient water management or ensuring the sustainability of production. Challenges that in the recent agricultural protests all over Europe have been proven as true barriers, still incompatible with the guarantee of a competitive, cost-optimized agriculture, which in fact eludes many farmers yet. Look, only in Spain, it has been shown that up to 40% of irrigation water can be wasted, and that between 15 and 30% of the sown area may result unproductive by unsuccessful crop germination, being both responsible for average annual losses of 10,000 and 50,000 euros respectively. However, this is not the only barrier encountered by the sector. We are referring to the rural digital divide. Proof of this is that more than 31% of Spanish producers still have none or basic digital competencies. Many farmers assume a great effort and time they don't have available when it comes to adopting completely unknown tools to them, what is leading to a clear call for support for their inclusion in an increasingly technological society where more than half of Spanish growers consider necessary additional help in this regard. So the question overall is, how can we turn around a situation that, like this one, is forcing farmers loss of profitability, a situation that, like this one, is threatening farmers' economy as well as provision to the table of citizens in this way. So, well, what if we told you that farmers could scale efficient productivity much closer to its full potential, risking minimum time and effort? In line with this philosophy is how HearthNext was born. What we precisely propose is the use of a scanning sensor principally thought for drones, combining RGB and thermal image to, through vegetation, health, and moisturizing parameters, make it possible to anticipate, minimize losses due to bad germination, and save up to 85% of this wasted water, meaning annual savings starting at 1,000 euros per hectare. But for us, it is key that these kind of profiles don't struggle with our tool. So its strength lies on the AI-powered post-processing of these invisible variables directly into next steps to take on their exploitation, and on the development of all this process from start to finish via WhatsApp chatbot, with the aim of making integration easier than ever for our customers. Hence, the uniqueness of this solution lies on the combination of two factors. Firstly, precision, substituting the commonly used satellite technologies to provide with more accurate results and to reduce the dependency of crop enhancement on cloudy conditions. And secondly, but not least important, a definite user-centered solution, putting a different approach on our customers to offer them economic accessibility, also bureaucracy reduction, and a much more enjoyable and self-managing interface, no matter the grade of adaptation to new technologies. From HearthNext, we want to transfer these virtues through a renting model with a price of 4,000 euros per year and unit, focusing on a business-to-client relationship with large-sized exploitations and with intensive small holdings, in which case reachable through tech solution intermediaries, as well as through cooperatives and associations, where they are usually concentrated, to let these profiles reach our solution simply. Precisely regarding associations, we're glad to share that Asaja, one of the most important in our country, has shown its readiness to connect us with our first 55 potential customers. Also, we achieved an agreement with Blue South Technologies to start implementing our solution in drones. We count on the University of Malaga to give this project the digital boost and the confidence it requires, and already 2 businesses in our country, in our area, provided us with our first 600 euros to start developing our MVP, as they are trusting our vision. But despite the good news, we are not satisfied yet. And so we are in the process of donating up to 15,000 euros via Caja de Ingenieros Innovative Ideas Contest, where ours was chosen top 10 out of 300 all over Spain. In terms of time, this is where we are right now. After all the diffusion we received by our local communication media, we want this initiative to merge on a two-stage process. Firstly, by developing and launching our solution, considering private financial support to cover our initial outlay, and secondly, by steering the lead to a significant expansion through our country, taking advantage of public monetary support to complete the 760,000 euros of financial backing winning. But listen, when we talk about Spain, we are talking about the first European power in the agrotech sector, a market that is not only witnessing an incredible escalation in millionaire investments, but a market where Andalusia, where we come from, is the region with the highest rate. A context that, in our situation, allows a profitability index of 11% for our private investors after a full return in a time not exceeding 6 years. Having that said, we all together will be able to allege a mission that, like this one, intends to change the face of this technology, placing the farmer definitely at the center as the guarantor of a realistic impetus to the productive and cost-efficient agriculture that digitalization, not as a barrier nor as a filter, promises. We are Canberra, Salud, Matias, Diego, Emilio, and Ramon, also known as Team Harness, and our message to the countryside is we can do it. Simpler, closer, and smarter. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to our lovely team in Malaga, our next team. And now we will listen to our judges with any questions on the screen.
So shall I start again?
Please do. Please do. Okay.
So I spent the summers hanging around with a farmer out in the countryside of Sweden. So and farmer death is rampant over Europe. So I think the problem of identifying how you leapfrog productivity in farmers is an absolutely correct one. Secondly, soil deterioration is becoming a real risk for food security, particularly in Europe, particularly in Southern Europe. So that's, again, spot on. I actually had a very simple question to begin with. Which problem for the farmer are you solving? Is it the irrigation problem, i.e. the link to whether there is preservation of the soil due to the increased heat and therefore the drying out of the soil and therefore destroying the nutrient level of the soil, mainly for crops? Is that exactly where you're targeting?
I can answer that question, if that's okay. This is a very wide problem, as you have said. There are many things that can affect farmers' exploitation. What we're trying to really focus on is germination, precisely. Because there are many studies that have been studying the different kind of values that really affect germination. And we are trying to build a kind of model using artificial intelligence to try and come forward with this problem before it becomes a problem for the farmer, if I'm explaining myself correctly. So based on all of these values and the data that we're going to gather through the recording that the drone, that the add-on to the drone makes, we're going to try to just take advantage of that and actually, before it becomes a problem, try to make it possible for the farmer to have this information and actually take action.
Maybe I just continue. Hello, everybody. I think you have really found a great idea. I have personally spent many years in agriculture and food industry, and I have also launched years ago an initiative towards farmers. So I really think that your idea can really scale, and it's so important. My question to you is about your commercial model. How are you going to make this a revenue generating initiative as well, which is important for its sustainability? And how are you going to make sure that farmers really use your initiative? How are you going to penetrate? What's your go-to-market strategy with that?
One problem that we have faced is that sometimes, farmers really know everything about their exploitation. They have a lot of experience and they really trust in all of their knowledge. that's something we obviously respect and understand because no one knows more than they do. So this is a market that all of the business that we have talked about in the sector really have kind of a problem penetrating because there's maybe some loss of confidence or trust in, especially new startups as us. So that's why we have mainly focused on having key partnerships with cooperatives. They have already built that kind of trust with the farmer, so they can get our solution to them in a way that they're already. If this has worked for us many times with this cooperative, different solutions or different new machines, not only related to drones but whatever, we believe that having this space will help us actually penetrate the market. Of course, we have to differentiate between the final user and the client, because if we are actually giving this to the cooperatives, they are not the final user, of course, because we plan on the farmer actually using our solution. But this is the way that we have realized through interviews and talking with different business in the agri-tech sector is the best way. You already have the base, you already have the trust, and then they can get our solution to the actual farmer.
I think you're spot on. So you're saying that cooperatives will be sort of your distribution channel, correct? Yes.
Super
smart. So how is the revenue generation going to work with the cooperatives? Because they're going to be selling this service in a way, right? That's what you're thinking, if I'm not mistaken.
So shall I answer you if you want? Thank you very much. So if my teammates let me, I'll answer. Well, we focus firstly our business on a renting model. First of all, because we have a commitment of renewal and offering the best service to our users, not our clients, but our users, which are the farmers in our country. We have that commitment of renewing our solution, and to keep them updated with the best features and preventing any kind of errors or mistakes that could be made. That's one reason. Secondly, because the strength of our proposal lies on the software level. And thirdly, because for us it's the way that guarantees, that ensures the most solid income structure for us. Actually, as you can see in the current slide, that would be our projection in the market in the following years. As we currently said, we have already said, in the first years, we will have to count on our investors, both private and public financial support. And once we have already got positive results, our benefits will increase incredibly. We will start gaining up to between 2 and 3 million euros, which, as I have already said, it's sign of the market where we're trying to move.
So can I add then to that? Sorry, Scott, but if I can add just on, we discussed the revenue. By the way, the going through cooperatives is a brilliant idea. I violently agree with that. When it looks at the cost base, because you have not only a software component, it's a lot. The entry point into getting the imagery is through a hardware solution. On the one hand, you reduce the cost base by linking it as an add-on to an existing commercial drone, which is super smart. So there's no sort of unique hardware in terms of the aircraft. It's just an add-on camera.
Yes.
However, it does drive hardware tend to drive a cost. So how do you see how do you manage the cost base in light of the hardware component that you have?
We're still studying this, of course, because we're trying to make a solution that the technology it uses, of course, it's maybe not the easiest one to understand for a farmer, but we're trying not to use the multi-spectral or hyper-spectral cameras that some of the competence is already using. We're trying to combine different sensors and really simple cameras that would really reduce our costs, even when considering a bigger market. So although we obviously have a period of investigation that now, thanks to some of the agricultural cooperatives that we're working on, we will be studying this in the following months. So because we are trying to integrate different pieces that are simple by themselves, the costs don't really go up that much. Of course, when you consider really difficult and complicated technology, such as the one I mentioned, for example, multispectral cameras, the costs can go really high. But as you can see in the slide right here, those are the costs that we are kind of considering, taking into account the kind of hardware that we use. As Ramon said on the presentation, thermal sensors, small cameras, and such.
I'd also like to add that our costs greatly depend on the amount of units we produce per year in order to put them into action, to offer them and to complete our current fleet in that moment. So our evolution in terms of units produced and units available for our users will be progressive. Once we have reached a sustainable number, which can guarantee us a good income source, we will keep producing units, of course, but the objective is to do it in terms of ensuring that our expansion is good enough in order to get those positive results we want to ship in order to return all the investment we receive. And later, of course, we for ensuring good presentations and amortization for our business. Also, of course, focusing on our private investors, who will have that profitability index we previously mentioned.
Yes, as Candela said, what we're really trying is just to find the things that make us and allow us to capture the images, but they don't have to be the best camera or the best sensor in the market. Well, we have an MVP that is like really simple, just a small camera that takes the pictures and allows us to get all the measures that we need without being too costly.
I really like your approach to the technology. I think you're right. Your unit costs will drop dramatically as you start to scale and can produce units at a level. I'd love to understand what this means for the farmer. The farmer plows their field, they plant their grain. How often do they need to scan the field to get accurate analysis from your AI engine to make decisions? Is it once a day, once an hour, once a week? How often do they need to?
Yes, I think we had some technical problems with our presentation. I don't know if you could notice that, but the slides were not what it was supposed. But we actually have a kind of a model of how the communication would be with the user, because obviously that's very important. Firstly, the user, they don't really know how to use this technology. We're also trying to kind of close that bridge between the technology and the user. So firstly, they have to initiate the communication when it comes to the flight of the drone, because we have realized that if not, these can get it can go to certain security problems. So that's how we have tackled that problem. I don't know if my teammates want to add on this, but we have different options. Well, I think they're going to show it. I don't know if the video is going to go down. Okay.
Yes, we can see.
So as you can see, the user initiates and then you can choose, it's a bit fast because we had to talk with that, but you can choose between germination, you can choose between different types of flights. And what we are thinking about is, of course, this needs to have some maintenance because it has no sense to just like fly one time, get the information one time, and then no more. So we're trying to think about a schedule, for example, for the different types of crops that the farmer has, because we're also studying what crops would fit best with our solution. Maybe a reminder every month, every week, depending on the situation and the problem that the user has to tackle. Because, yeah, that's it. I don't know why I added that, but that's how we would answer that.
No, thank you. That's clear. Thank you.
It's very clear. But it's a rental model. Actually, you don't really need to sell the camera. You just rent it out and then you subscribe.
Yes.
It's a subscription model basically, or for a service.
Yes.
Which means that all the cameras you create, the hardware, you can actually maximize the utilization on a permanent basis. That's really smart. That's really smart.
Brilliant. I think, although there might be a lot more questions, I can imagine. I mean, the topics are absolutely fascinating, and the presentations contain a lot of details that we could easily be sat here for another half an hour at least for each team and actually go through this. But I want to say a really big well done to every one of our teams. You can now breathe relieved. This part has ended for yourselves, but you should give yourself a big round of applause and a big pat on the back for the great work you have done. We're very proud to see what you have achieved today. What is going to happen now, I'll hand over to Juan Pablo, who will be interviewing two of our alumni from previous editions. And Juan Pablo from our external partner, Biforget, will be able to deliver that for us, and we'll be back in 10 minutes in our London office. Juan Pablo, over to you.
And Angela and Antonio for being here today. You have been part of the Vodafone Campus Lab community since the 4th and 5th edition. So I would like to start asking you, what has your experience been like over these years?
Yeah, thank you very much for this interview, JP. And yeah, in my case, as you stated, I participated for the first time 3 years ago, and then I was mentor, and now I'm mentor gold. So really, through all this year, I have been learning quite a lot. And if I was a really believer of the methodology that is staffed here at Vodafone Campus Lab, after the years being mentored, like I'm even more a believer of this, because you can see how the methodology is so simple and so logic that really works. And I have been seeing that for 3 years now. So I have learned a lot from that methodology, and it's been really a kind of a change in my daily life, because I also apply that on there.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with you, Antonio. And I think that Vodafone Campus Lab has been a transformative experience, not only because I'm no longer a student of the program and now I am a mentor. I've transformed my role, but also because it really changes your mindset and your way of doing things and working in different industries, or it can be applied in all the aspects that you study and that you work on.
Thanks. So you have started talking about the transition from students to mentor. So could you go a bit deep on that? So how was that transition? What have you learned during that path?
Yes, of course. So last year I participated as one of the teams for the Vodafone Campus Lab, and now this year I am being a mentor for the teams that are already presented. So this transition, this change has been really interesting, because I didn't know exactly if I was going to be able to be a mentor, because I'm still a university student. So I didn't know if I had all the tools that I needed to be a mentor. But I realized that if you are well trained, and that if you try to work on yourself, you can definitely be a mentor. And also it was really enriching to talk about my experience with all the team members, and I don't know, be useful and see that you can go even further in this program.
Yeah, I totally agree with Angela there. I mean, in my case, like in the first year when you are participating, really, like you are giving a lot of information, not only about the methodology that you need to apply, but also for each part of the methodology, you are also giving with tools, with way to do things, and so on. So basically, actually, while you're a participant, you don't even have time to think. You just like kind of act and try to complete all the different steps to get to a solution that can solve the problems. But when I transition to be a mentor, it's really when I also discovered the applicability of all these tools, all the methodology. Really, there is when you see how applicable this methodology can be to all the different aspects. So I think that's what I really take from also being a mentor here, because I never stop learning on how this methodology can be applied, but can also be improved and adapted to your own persona there.
I really love to hear you talking about the methodology and the how-tos that you have learned during this process. So, can you share some insights on what have been your main learnings with the methodology, and how have you applied them in the rest of your life?
Yeah, there. I think you know it sounds very logic, but when you are giving this methodology, it sounds very logic that you become a believer. But before, I wasn't actually trying to do that. I remember, like, I've been always kind of a thinker, so I always remember before going to Vodafone, I always remember try to come up with products, let's say, that could actually benefit the community or that can solve problems. But I was always stuck in thinking about the product. It was like, and then in this way you get frustrated because you don't get actually to reinvent the wheel, right? The wheel is already invented. But I think when you apply this methodology that lends that teaches you to really go for investigating about the problem, what are the causes of the problem, who is experiencing the problem, so do some interview with these people, trying to find out actually the causes of the problem. Then when you do that, it's much easier to find out what possible solutions can solve that problem. And again, here you do also a verification step to make sure that these are actually solutions that are solving the problem, because sometimes your mind might trick you. And I think this methodology also allows you to avoid this kind of conflicts that might arise, because we might be biased by our own experience, by our previous previous knowledge and so on. And then out of that, once that you have the solution for your problem, it's time to really develop the products. So it's a very rich methodology that can not only be used for product maker, let's say, but also in your own life, in your personal life, in your daily life as well, within your company and so on. I don't know, Angela, if that's also something that you feel familiar with this methodology.
Yeah, I think so. Because with this methodology, you have to put yourself in another position. You have to think about the user. You have to think about the problem. How are they experiencing it? What's their perspective? So I think that is really something that you can implement in your daily life, to think about what is the problem, how are other people are seeing it, how can we solve it to be able to help the most people. So I think that this is really an interesting perspective to take into account in different aspects of life, just with friends, with family, or even at work.
Awesome. So we are reaching the end of this interview. My last question will be, what would be your recommendation for today's finalist?
We can say a lot of things about this, I think, I believe, but at the end, it depends on them and what they want to achieve after this program, and if they want to make the most of it. I mean, I'm still here. I was a participant last year, and now I am a mentor because I wanted to be able to take the next step, and because I believe that when you learn something, then the next step is to teach it to somebody else. So I wanted to be able to teach it to them and to show them my experience. So I truly encourage them to continue to keep in touch with the program or with Vodafone and try to be a mentor, or even go ahead and produce their idea if that's what they want, and if they think that they can implement it. So that's really interesting. And also, to be able to value what they've done, because they are still students, but they've done something that an adult can do. So like when we're students, we tend to underestimate ourselves, and we tend to think that we are not able to do things, but they really need to value what they've done and what they just presented. So just attach to your value, and not only as a team or for your product, but the value that you have, and keep working on it and keep learning and developing it.
Yeah, I totally agree with Angela's words there, because if there is something that you really learn from the Vodafone Campus Lab experience, it's that things really depends on you, on your team. And we have seen how there were 3 teams, well, there were many teams, and now we have 3 finalist teams that went from nothing to a really developed idea and even products there that they have already exposed to the jury. And as you have seen, like there are many of them who are already engaged with the end customers with a good value propositions. So they have made one of the most difficult steps already, and now they need to open up and really, like the Vodafone Campus Lab closes, but this is just opened new doors. So for me, like I would encourage them to keep going on these ideas that they have developed, because they are actually applicable to today's life. And it could be a pity actually if they don't pursue that in further stages.
Thanks a lot. I totally agree with you. I think that they have done a huge work here in the program, and I really look forward to seeing them on the next year working on their projects. So at the end of the program, it's real work with real challenges, real solutions. So it's great to have this community around the program, not only of this year, but the whole experience. Yeah, thanks a lot, Antonio and Angela, for this quick talk here in the final. And now back to you, Florentina.
Wonderful. Well, it was so refreshing to hear from 2 of our alumni and all of their advice and recommendations. Hopefully you could take some of that yourselves as a student. And now I would like to invite our jury back on the screen. This is the big moment. This is the moment to hear our winning team as well as the other 2 teams on the podium. And I will invite the jury back on the screen to share with us who will be, we're starting with the 3rd prize, and I will invite Joachim to share with us who the jury have decided to have as a 3rd prize winner. Just to remind everyone, the 3rd team will be receiving 500 euros per person in the team, and Joachim is here to give us the good news.
Well, thank you very much. And I'm sorry, I'm rushing from one office to the other. And I can say on behalf of all the judges that this was a very, very difficult choice. This is sort of the European Eurovision of the tech innovations and startups. So we were very, very, very impressed. All topics were very relevant and very real. And I'm extremely pleased to announce the 3rd place will go to Turkey with Adaptees. We thought that the solution for the problem identification was fantastic. This is one of the areas that we feel very, very strongly is a gap in the market. The fact that you have focused on something that is very, very real is extremely good. We think there's a huge untapped potential in this space, by the way, so that's something where we strongly align. I think the feedback that we would give in terms of how we would want you to further evolve your thinking would be around how to turn it into less of a one-way and more of an interactive platform. We think that this could really scale. Sorry, can everyone go on mute? Because it's difficult for Harv next and my eyes, if you can go on mute for the time being. So I think what we came to the conclusion was, our advice was, the problem is brilliant. The platform is much needed. It can actually scale all across Europe. We think this is an entirely scalable product. The steer that we would like to provide in scaling it and in further developing it is to move it into a community-based platform where people volunteer more information. So you address sort of the risk of making it a one-way, create more stickiness so that people want to interact with it on a daily basis as opposed to checking it once a month. That then drives a better revenue generation, because that makes people that want to advertise to be buying advertisement space. The more people interact with it, the better. And therefore, the more you get other people to communicate, either commercial companies in terms of putting up content, or for that matter, migrants themselves. Because as you have, like in my case, if I've figured out how to get my kids to the NHS, I might as well put it in the chat. I found a good way of getting, and then you fuel the content by actually the community contributing it, and that creates more stickiness. But we think this is a brilliant idea. We think you have a fantastic problem to solve. We think it's entirely scalable. There's some fine-tuning around how you go to market, how you create more stickiness, and how you create more interaction with the users that then would drive your revenue base and make companies more excited to partner with you on that journey. So extremely well done. Fantastic presentation. And thank you very much to the team, and congratulations on your third place.
A big congratulations to the team. I hope you are proud of what you have achieved. Anyone wants to say a few words from the team? We've only got a few seconds, but just for your first thoughts.
I mean, we can say that, yes, we are also very proud, and even coming to this point, even having the paper, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think that we would be proud to let down or anything of the sort. And we really appreciate your feedback and also your time. So thank you for that.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And can I say, you were the largest of teams in numbers, and it's never easy to work in such a big group, coordinate everything, make everything smooth and sleek, and make everyone, stay connected and engaged. So really well done for that. Fantastic achievement, and we'll be in touch with you to share the prizes directly. So thank you very much. We'll now hand over to Serpil for the big prize. So we will be awarding the first prize just now. Hopefully we can get Serpil on the screen. Serpil, over to you.
Well, first of all, congratulations to all the three teams. You are all winners. You should be extremely proud of yourselves. And getting here and presenting your great initiatives, we are also impressed by all of you. But at the end, we need to choose one. It's been very difficult for us to choose because you all had great ideas and great opportunities presented very well, extremely well. At the end, we made the hard decision to select Greek team, ISIS, as the winner. And first point is you have really found
a big moment there, Serpil, a big moment of celebration.
Combining a very important need with your digital solution is a great idea. You have presented it extremely well. We thought your plan was very well prepared, from idea generation to product development, but also go to market and the commercial model. It was very well presented, but also very well articulated. Do continue this initiative. Our input to you is, we think that you need to really link your initiative with Ministry of Health to make sure that this is the standard product, such that everybody uses the same app. We think this is the only way it can really be adapted by the whole country. And good luck with that. Congratulations. And
A really big well done to the Molasses team, and I can see the joy coming through. Any comments just hot off the press?
We would like to thank all the mentors and also all the judges for their time being today here and giving us their valuable feedback. And congratulations to the other two teams. It was a very hard-fought battle, but yeah, and great ideas. It was great experiencing this program. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Well, Battle of the Greats for sure. And thank you, Serpil, for presenting that award. And of course, we'll now move to our second prize. And I will hand over to Scott to share that with us.
Thanks, Florentine. Well, first of all, like the other two judges, a fantastic event, and the quality of all the presentations was really, really high. And this was a really tough choice. We really debated long and hard about what was the right approach and which one had delivered the most for us. And I really thought the Havnest idea was fantastic. I think it's got real applicability in the market. I think it really can scale, not just in Spain, but actually across all of Europe and many other parts of the world. The team had really thought through the go-to-market, using co-ops as a mechanism and then selling it as a service. I think we'll really scale, and that translated into a revenue model that would sustain a company that's trying to grow. Really, the product idea, I think, is really good. I think using as much as you can off-the-shelf components will keep your unitary cost at the right level. The piece that we'd like to see a little bit more on is how is that going to be operationalized? What does it mean for a farmer as they're going through a period of I've planted my crops? How often do I need to scan my field? How often do I get the data? How does that work and how does that translate into benefits from a farmer is probably the next phase of your product development lifecycle. But I'd really encourage you to keep at it. I think you've got a really, really good idea with a sustainable business model. I think the approach you're taking to building the product is right. Just think through how does it live in real life and what does it mean to the end farmer and how are they going to get value from that? If you can translate that value, I think you'll attract lots of funding and lots of external people looking to support your business. So a brilliant idea and really starting to execute a great plan. So really well done.
Thanks so much, Scott, for the feedback, and really well done to the Havnest team. Any comments from anyone in the team? There's too much. Go ahead.
I don't know if you can listen to us. So we're very grateful for this opportunity. Not only this prize, of course, it's very important for us as it is, but we're really grateful for all of the moments that I've shared with my teammates, everything that we've learned thanks to the Vodafone Campus Lab. And of course, we will take everything that you have said into account and integrate it in our future business. We're really grateful for all of the judges, all of the opinions, and of course, all of the teammates from the different teams. Thank you very much. This has been a really great experience.
Great to hear. Well done.
Thank you very much. Next. Really well done to you. Really well done to all of our teams. Shall we have a big round of applause for everyone that participated and all of our students? A big round of applause for everyone. Honestly, we're so proud. We've obviously seen you growing through the program, and now you're presenting with confidence, you're delivering these solutions, you demonstrate your ability to apply this knowledge into practice, and we are truly proud to see this transformation from yourself, and we're very excited to see how this will progress with your careers and the impact that the program will make on your future. Well, this is it now. We will be in touch with all of our winning students to award you the prizes separately and, of course, be able to stay connected with you in the future. We want to thank everyone involved in this project, in the final today as well, to our partner BeForget for being here every step of the program, to our Vodafone Early Careers teams in Greece, in Turkey, in Romania and in Spain, to our Vodafone colleagues who are mentors or speakers, some of them, as well as to our executive committee jury who helped decide on a winning project. And to our audience, we're pleased to stay with us until now and you joined our celebrations. Obviously, so proud of the hard work and the success of our students. And to all of you, thank you for watching and have a great afternoon.